Hello, myself Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are talking about the education sector basically. And in this basically we are talking that 20 percentage of education basically have some error basically. So one person told that basically what actually the error basically. Then he told that basically in basically there is one A character, B character, C character, E character. Yes, basically that is basically that. So in A basically in English that is called as E is equal to E. E is equal to in Sanskrit basically it's called na. Then basically he told that basically in different language basically. Then he told that basically yeah basically there are basically lots of language basically. And in this basically A B C D like this basically are there in Gujarati basically ka kha ga is there basically like this basically they told that basically each and every basically language basically are connecting to set of characters only basically. Yeah basically the each and every people basically don't share their and they basically keeps control also of their basically language. Then he told that basically the one person told that basically A is inside the ka kha ga or basically the B is inside the ka kha ga basically. Then he told that basically which language is inside that basically we don't know basically. Then one person told that basically which is the first language. It was Tamil or Sanskrit basically. It literally started like this basically the war actually started. Like basically he told that basically who is inside the language basically. Then he told that basically the Gujarati language basically actually I think some one of the person basically some German basically started Gujarati basically. Then he told that basically German basically is a Hitler, right? Then he told that that means Hitler has started Gujarati. How basically it is possible, yeah? How basically Hitler basically start Gujarati? That means you want to say Hitler basically is from India basically. If India, if he's in India basically, then basically he's basically then basically if he's in India basically, then basically he's basically master in World War basically. First World War, Second World War. But in this war, basically, Indian basically was always safe, basically. Then he told it, yes, yeah, basically, India land was already always safe, basically. In first war, basically, there was nothing basically happened to India, basically. India land. In second world war, also basically, nothing was happened to India land, basically. That means somebody is saving India land. That means basically somebody literally directly told him. Yes, I think you are correct. That means this Hitler basically is trying to save India land or basically or what basically. Then he told that basically yes, basically might be possible because he might be loving India basically. That means one person told that basically if by chance due to India land basically the universe basically comes into trouble then he told that then Hitler will be responsible basically because he love India basically. India land. Then basically he will be responsible. Why you are basically worrying about like this each and everything basically. Then he told that basically the education sector basically no basically education sector basically is very old. So basically he might not have got the birth also basically that time. So from that time basically the education sector is that is a Sanskrit basically. Then English basically are there basically. That time basically might not have got the birth also basically. Then he told that yes, yeah, basically you are correct. That means this problem is very old problem basically. The education system basically is very old problem basically. So literally, basically, you can't say that basically Hitler has basically created problem with the education. Basically, few people say that basically, if you say that basically Hitler is basically from India, that means he has created the problem of education sector. Basically, then basically one person told that basically education sector is very, very old here. Basically, he basically might not have got birth also basically that time. Basically, then he told that exactly you are correct. Yeah, that means the problem is very old. Basically, then he told that basically is this problem is basically from Mahabharata, Ramayana, Ravan Ram. Then basically, have you ever seen Ramayana? Basically, then few people say that basically the yeah, historical. You see that historical place basically. They're basically the then one person told them basically, do you know basically entire basically the Krishna Bhagwan Nagri basically was finished. That was basically gone underwater. That basically name basically nowadays basically people say that it is Dwarka. Yes, basically, yeah, you are 100% correct. Basically, you are 100% correct. That means basically what actually the problem is basically nobody is able to track this basically. Yeah. Then he told that basically education problem basically we feel basically like it's not like that basically. A basically his character was one name basically somebody has given. Just see basically this is A basically. When you draw like this basically that basically it seems to be A. So somebody has pronounced it basically A. Then one of the universe basically person told that why basically A like this basically design basically is told as A basically. Then he told that basically when you draw the A's exactly within the universe, na, or basically B, E, F, like this basically just see basically what are the sound basically getting in the universe basically. Then he told that let me see here basically it's very dangerous thing basically. The education sector has become very that means 20 percentage problem basically this is that's a big issue basically converted to. Then he told that yes, yeah. That's why basically one of the people basically told that let me pass this issue to Arya Bhatt, that is basically Gujarati person, and Hitler is also Gujarati basically. Few people say that basically we don't know basically. That means in Mumbai basically lots of people say that 20 percentage are Gujaratis basically, and they basically have full power of Mumbai, full power of basically the each and every sector basically. The Maharashtrian people told that basically no, we basically have the power basically. So one person told that basically Sunil R Nair has not got the job. So which group basically will be responsible? Then he told that basically need to track basically which are all the group basically who actually created the problem. Then basically one person told that let me track basically today only where actually the problem is. Let me track basically. Then basically he told that basically that is also basically different issue that basically we are going to discuss. Like this basically I'm just taking my example basically. Reason behind basically is this, the issue basically. For example, A basically was drawn in universe basically. So when the A was basically drawn, that time basically the person told that basically even A basically go inside the A basically that time basically A this type of sound basically is coming because as in that A basically when the one of the universe person basically E basically have honor also, B also might be having honor, C also, E also basically, F also, like C also, E also. Like these people might be having the honor basically. So whenever you go inside that A basically character drawn in the universe, that means you want to say that there are basically assume that there are more than 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 10 lakh basically planets in the A basically. That means when you get inside the A, that time basically you want to say that a like the sound basically is coming when you go inside the E or F basically like this like the sound is coming basically. Then one person told that basically H like this H sound is coming in the sky basically in a universe basically. Then he told that basically that is not possible here basically. How basically that is possible? Basically? You want to say that basically from the universe basically the sound has basically given A Z X Y G H I J K like this basically sound is coming from the universe basically whenever you are basically entering into that then basically he told that basically that's basically you need to check here basically this only Aryabhat family basically can grow, yeah, solve this problem basically and when they gets the problem then basically everybody knows what happens basically everybody knows that basically what happens actually everybody knows basically what happens. Then he told that basically if we are not able to solve the problem basically then by default automatically they are going to get this issue information basically that the news network basically is going to 100% going to give this News channel basically never stops the thing basically. If you are not able to solve the problem, then basically they literally pass the problems to the other sector, and they basically know the chain also. So the newspaper news channel basically literally basically say that basically we are doing our duty basically. Whoever basically comes into in between us basically, that but we are going to play our role basically. That is the news channel role basically. So that from, for example, Sunil R Nair is not getting the job, then basically we are going to pass 100% the case to the next group basically. Even basically whatever basically things is going to happen. So like this basically he told that basically the 20 percentage, the people basically says that basically the 20 percentage global warming basically is coming. That means you want to say that global warming basically the education system basically are getting problem. The news channel basically told that basically we have passed the information to that group. We have passed the information to rich people basically, because they are doing the investment. Then they told that basically no, basically we are just passing the money to the government basically. Government told that basically we are basically passing the information to the, we are just doing our duty basically. The god groups basically are telling that basically you can do one thing basically. God group basically told that basically we had whatever task is they are doing, telling to us that only basically we are doing. That means God group says that basically we are increasing our power. So in the in A character, in B character, in C character, in E character, like this basically they told basically like this. They want to, they are telling that they are increasing their power. Like this basically in Hindi basically ka kha ga is there. They are basically increasing their power basically, you want to say. That means you want to say that one language basically is overriding another language basically. Then basically he told that basically whole world basically which is created basically that is from languages basically. One person told that basically what actually Dubai basically is created from. He told that from E, B, C, D, E, F. Then he told that basically it's basically Hindi, Gujarati, or what actually basically. Ka, kha, ga, or basically what? Or basically some Malayalam characters basically data basically is basically there inside that thing basically. Then it literally to the basically very dangerous basically, we have reached to that very dangerous thing basically. Dangerous means very dangerous basically. Anything basically can happen basically now. Anything basically can happen basically in the education sector basically. Then it was basically here basically education groups basically are doing basically, they don't are basically they basically say that basically we are basically just doing the education basically. We don't know basically that A or B, B, C or D basically or E basically like character basically are in universe also basically. How basically we should know basically? We don't know this all thing basically. In Gujarati, ka kha ga is there basically? We don't know that basically. Ka kha ga basically is in there the in the universe basically, like the design basically are there basically. We don't know. We don't know basically. Like this basically the characters basically are there in the universe basically. How basically we should know? How basically we are going to know basically? How basically we are going to know that this type of basically the things basically exist in the universe basically? How we are going to know basically? We are just doing the study. We are just doing the MBA. We are just doing the IITs. We are just doing the IIM, Ahmedabad. We are just doing like that basically. Nothing else basically we are doing. Few people says that basically IIM Ahmedabad basically is the very dangerous institute. Basically, they are basically connected with big finance company. Basically, they will level basically going to finish the IIM Ahmedabad. Then basically he told that basically few people, lots of people are basically reached up to very big level basically. How they will basically are going to save the IIM Ahmedabad basically. Then they told that basically no, basically problem is not from IIM Ahmedabad basically. They're actually in 20%, the people basically were telling that 20 percentage of problem basically of the global warming is from the education sector, but it's not from our side basically. It's not from our side basically. That is the I am basically. Let me basically see basically we our lots of big people basically have reached up to big level basically, big post basically we have got from the I am Ahmedabad basically, and we have reached up the very big level of companies basically like Infosys, then Accenture and Capgemini. We have basically big level of power and the big level of basically the uh, uh, powers basically also we have got. Let me see basically where actually from the 20 percentage error basically is coming. Then they told that basically then basically they told that basically I think the problem is basically from the for example you have basically got in IIM basically you got some assume that basically you got some thousand books. Just taking example, it can be 100 also. Like this, basically, you got 1,000 book. Then he told that basically, yeah, basically, I got 1,000 book. That 1,000 book basically is created by the IIM group. Basically, it's not like that. Everything basically is created like that. Basically, each and every paragraph basically says something that basically that says some meaning, basically some meanings basically as that basically of that particular paragraph. Like this, basically, when you read the entire book, na, basically that basically generates to some energy. Basically, you basically understand something. Basically, then you know that basically exactly basically your brain basically understands something basically. So that understanding basically is some data basically. That basically understanding basically from where you get basically. That basically assume that it's getting from 1,000 city basically. So assume that from 1,000 city you are getting the Ahmedabad, getting the data basically. So that Ahmedabad city, sorry, here basically it can be anybody. Here basically I just taken as an example. I am Ahmedabad. So like this basically he told that basically I am Ahmedabad basically are taking the data from the 1,000 cities. Then he told that yes basically 1,000 cities basically. From 1,000 city basically they are taking the energy basically. From 1,000 city basically they are taking the energy. 1,000 city basically they are taking the energy basically. Then he told that from 1,000 city basically they are taking the energy. That means the error basically from that 1,000 city or basically from where here basically. Then he told basically it's a 20 percentage basically error is there basically, that need to basically track basically from where actually the, because I am basically people says that basically from this paragraph you understand this from this paragraph you understand this. If you want to understand in detail of this education basically, do one thing basically, track those companies basically. Which companies basically? What which company? Tell basically which company basically. Then he told that basically, do you know basically there are few companies basically, hmm, hmm, who says basically that if this percentage basically, they basically literally say that basically this percentage people only we take basically. That means you want to say that this percentage basically, that means he's in his brain basically or in blood basically something has generated up to that level basically. They got the information. Then they told that basically yes basically, because our next project basically is connected from this only basically. If he gets 80 to 90 percentage, that means his blood basically energy basically or the brain energy basically has generated up to this percentage basically. So from that percentage we are going to start basically. From that percentage basically we are going to start. Then he told that basically from that percentage basically you are going to start basically. Yes, basically from that percentage basically his service is going to start basically. So you can connect to those companies basically. Yeah. Why unnecessary we are basically going to finish IIM Ahmedabad basically. IITs basically. Don't finish that basically. Then basically one of the Kashmir people told that basically no basically actually this was mistake or not mistake basically, that future only basically can tell. And this basically we are discussing the future only basically. Future plan basically who decides? That is basically the topic basically. Just see basically up to what level this future plan is going to reach. Future plan means for example one person heated the six, so that was future plan basically. Somebody has literally planned it. For that basically lots of plan basically has been done. Lots of company basically jumped into that, and lots of thing basically has happened. Lots of banks also basically jumped into that. Lots of finance institute finance group basically told that basically we want. So for that basically lots of group, investment basically has done. Yeah. How basically we can finish that basically? How we can finish that basically? We will not finish. We will not finish our IM. We will not finish our IITs basically, because we have done lots of hard work basically. Yeah, for that, for education creation basically, we will not finish. Then one of the basically Israel and Gaza told that we have finished it. That means problem is not from our side basically. That 20%. They are literally directly told it. That problem is not from our side basically. We have finished it basically everything basically. Then basically the Gaza group said, group told that basically, and the Israel group also basically told that no basically you can see this basically, we don't have any creation here. Sunil, we don't have any creation. See basically entire Gaza is basically, just see basically the Gaza condition basically. Then he told that basically yeah. So you want to say that 20% basically is not from Gaza side. That means a few people say that basically Israel also basically might be knowing lots of things basically. Or Gaza group also basically might be knowing lots of things, that they might be knowing that A equal to thousands of planets, E equal to thousands of planet. And when you design the E, that time basically when you enter your satellite into E design, that time basically the E sound is coming, F sound is coming. So literally they basically then the verification after that only basically they written F G H I J K L, like this basically they are written like this. That means you want to say that basically ka, kha, ga in Gujarati and Hindi basically that is also written in the universe basically. You want to say that directly. Then basically that was the basically yes exactly. You want to tell this directly only. That from where basically this 20 percentage global warming is coming. Because they told them basically entire universe basically can't give the sacrifice basically, kurbani basically, due to few people basically. Due to few people basically, if you due to few abhimani people basically, we can't give our entire universe basically sacrifice basically, kurbani basically. We can't basically give our entire universe basically just for earth planet basically, like this basically the literally basically they told that basically for earth planet basically we are not going to do this our entire, we are not going to finish our entire universe, like the basically talk started. Just for that was basically just small issue basically. From small issue basically that's converted like this basically, we are not going to finish our entire universe basically. If the your education system is problem, that is your problem basically. You find out basically from where the 20 percentage things basically are getting problem basically. Then few people say that basically Delhi is getting problem, then basically they said basically we will have some rainfall basically, like this basically. Few Americans and European people basically started telling. Few people says that basically that was the requirement from the South Africa basically. For that basically just they told that basically we just want the rain, and in this issue basically they told that basically that is a global warming. So literally, basically, they told that basically this was a global warming. But that was a requirement from the side, South Africa. People will say that the land basically will require that type of requirement. So they basically have done the task. But the problem is same basically, that is global warming. That means one person told that basically this all political people know or not basically. This all thing basically the people are doing to the India country, coming from US, coming from UK, coming from South Africa. They are doing that task, and basically then literally they leave the country basically. That means political people are means what actually want to tell that word basically that I am not getting. The people know basically this whole thing basically. Then they don't basically that basically need to investigate here basically which type of basically political people are sitting in the parliament house basically. One person told that basically they are basically just yeah sitting here, but the main task basically are done by the admin department of the parliament house. They never sits there basically. They are basically the practical people. For example, one city has to create the entire plan basically is designed by the admin, IITs, IAS, and officer basically. They never sits there basically. The practical thing basically which basically are for example the here the things basically need to create city, entire cities need to create. So IAS basically officer don't go and basically say that basically this need to create. That basically is handled by the entire political people basically. Then basically the again that basically issue basically connected to that only basically, from where this 20 percentage issue basically is coming. From 20% basically where this issue basically is coming. From where the 20 percentage issue basically is coming. Then basically again basically the universe basically grew. They basically told that basically I think basically Earth planet basically don't have any responsibility of anyone. Example is basically six times Sunil R Nair visited to Mumbai basically, and basically he basically told that basically at least I should get some job here. That's why basically he came. That basically is the example. The universe basically given this example only. That Sunil R Nair is the example basically. Nobody have basically the responsibility. and even the human resource basically group don't have the responsibility, even the software company basically don't have the responsibility, that basically at least yeah, he should get the job basically. So Sunil R Nair as an example they have taken basically, that our planet is like this basically. They basically just do one thing basically, they basically only say that basically that person is basically doing, then they again pass to the another person basically, then they basically, for example, in Mumbai basically one person told that this is the Sunil R Nair, this is, Sunil R Nair's, just taking as an example, it can be anybody's resume. He told that basically, see basically this is Sunil R Nair's resume basically, he good into management side, so see this reason basically. Then he saw that basically, oh, basically, let me see basically how much I can get from this particular person. Then he told that basically education in institute basically is connected. That basically, no, basically he's not done any education management level education basically. Then basically how we can get the money basically. Because each and every education management people basically gives at least basically from there basically we can get some business basically from, he basically has not done education of the management, then basically how we can get the business basically from that, because business development group says that basically we will take each and every business from the each and every employees also basically. And business development basically group says that basically we will take sales basically from the each and every employee also basically, up to what level they have the contacts. That means Sunil Museum basically says that basically he has not done any management level degree, yeah, education system basically. He told that basically we don't have any basically he don't have any education management degree basically. He don't have any degree basically. Just see basically, because we want something basically from his education system basically. We can use the basically his groups like this basically. Few people say that we have broken the relationship with that Sunil Arnair only basically. Just taking as an example, in real basically this is not happened. We have broken basically. Enter Mumbai basically telling that we have broken relationship with Sunil Arnair. We have broken relationship with Sunil Arnair. We don't have a relationship with Sunil Arnair. We have given proof also basically. 6 times basically has visited. Have we got the job? Like this basically we have given proof basically. Education system basically of the IT industry basically has given the proof basically that we don't have any relationship with Sunil Nair basically. We don't know him. Like this they have given the proof also basically. Like this basically the universe group also basically told that basically. Yes, yeah, they have given the proof also basically. 6 times he has visited and basically, so literally we have taken the example basically. In Earth planet basically, do you know people basically? Yeah, that's, take the example of Sunil Nair. He has visited 6 time in 6 time basically in Mumbai city basically. He has not got the job basically. Like this basically they have given the proof basically that we have finished his relationship basically. Like this basically Vadodara city also basically says that no, we have basically like Rishabh software company, numerator company, like this basically company says that basically no, basically we have taken his resume basically, but we have not given him job basically. Like this big company basically, office beacon company, they, we have not given him job basically. Like these Accenture companies, the TCS companies, there basically we have not given him job basically. Just see basically, see this, we are basically doing business basically. We are not doing charity variety basically. We are basically business man basically. We are into sales basically. We are into sales. We are not basically this. So you want to say that each and every employee basically who are working into that company, they are taking sales basically from them, business development officers. Or basically you want to say that basically the person basically who dumped each and every projects into the server, he has done some plan from that of that particular employees who basically recruited by the human resource. Just see basically up to what level human resource are available. So just think basically who basically is handling the human resource department, yeah, up to what level he is basically. This is also basically sales. This is also basically business development stuff basically. So just see basically up to what level the education basically has reached. Again, same problem basically. 20 percentage global warming issue. 20% global warming issue. And same thing basically happening. Few people, Delhi basically says that Punjab basically is doing the fire like this. Basically, they are also basically so. The few people says basically we have recruited Aam Aadmi Party. Yeah, they are going to do something basically, and they also basically had done same thing. Basically, they are also passing the problems to the other parties. Basically, BJP is doing. Basapa is doing from Delhi, from Uttar Pradesh, lots of Samajwadi parties are doing like this. Same also, they are also basically came into same category. They are also busy passing the information. Sorry, passing the problems. They are also passing the problems basically. Like this basically the issue basically connected into big issue basically. That basically is reached up to the Arya Bhatt. And Arya Bhatt basically how he solves the problem that basically everybody knows. Then few people says that basically if your resume basically is passed to the Arya Bhatt basically is going to solve the problem. Then basically to the basically Arya Bhatt will sell basically yeah basically have a good knowledge. But enter our basically few people basically are very rich people here, and a few rich people has the and basically we have lots of relationship with Mumbai also basically. Mumbai has not given the job here to him basically. Then how basically I can help him basically because if basically normal software company basically have the information up to certain level, then basically that group basically are up to universe level basically. So up to what level information they might be having, they might be having the information that 6 times basically he has visited to Mumbai basically. So how basically we can give the job? Yeah, we can't give the job. We can't give the job to him basically. We will not give him job basically. We are not going to help him basically. We are not going to help him basically. Because 6 times basically Mumbai has rejected hearing. Mumbai has told that basically we are rejected. Few people basically we are rejected in a technical side basically. Few people says that we are rejected basically in 6 times basically, and few people basically from Vadodara city basically says that basically technical team has rejected you basically. So you are rejected basically. If we ask basically the reason basically they say that basically technical team has rejected. So they basically just need to give some reason basically. But in real basically technical team has not rejected. Some basically group basically told that basically we will give you this much business basically, don't take him basically, tell some reason basically that technical team has rejected. So like this basically that company basically passed the information to the Chennai team basically, and basically they told that basically like this basically the scene basically was like this. Assume that one Sunil R Nair basically passed one resume to one company, and he basically called him 2 3 times. When then basically the Chennai group basically he passed the resume to the Chennai group. Like this basically the scene basically created. But in real basically they had talked long before basically that he is not supposed to get job. Then basically the means the entire plan basically has done. Entire software company basically has created how basically the business development group basically handles the each and everything basically that handling. So then basically told that basically no basically we then like the story basically I told that basically no, like this basically is not supposed to get. Then basically give some reason here, tell them basically technical group has rejected it. Like this basically tell the reason basically. Then he told that basically yeah basically we will give the reason basically. Then basically when he Sunil called, then basically he told that basically why you are not basically calling this that, that. Then he told basically you are basically technically not your technical team has rejected you. Means education group basically technical education group has rejected you. The technical group basically were sitting in the computer, they have rejected you. Still sitting in the computer basically, they have rejected you. Education industry basically, they are rejected you. Then basically the person basically who was in the education side basically he told that basically is A to Z basically is basically character in Earth planet. So A to Z basically same characters are basically in the universe also basically. Yeah. Then he told that basically there are basically crores of planets basically are inside that basically. Crores of planets are basically, and just the see the main thing basically, the main thing is the computer is doing the process of A to Z characters basically. That is the main thing basically, and nothing is happening to the computer industry basically. That is basically not a magic basically. Then he told that basically literally are basically this is the magic basically. Education sectors basically are doing some magic basically in the computer industry basically. Do you know basically up to what level the process basically is happening of each and every characters, each and every words, each and every numbers? They are doing the process. SAP company basically is doing the process. They have created their so SAP companies in they are basically creating their construction of the SAP company since 1942 basically. Since 1942 basically they are doing their SAP construction basically, and basically here the main thing is in computer basically launched in 1986 basically in India basically. And SAP construction basically was going to launch in 2005. They started their process in 1942 basically. That means how many years here? SAP took. That means they were doing this whole education level setting or what? Then they basically told that basically we are going to do process in A character, we are going to do process in E character, we are going to do process in C character, we are going to do process in F character. They were doing that basically. They are doing some mapping of that basically, that their SAP basically, where basically which is created in thousand city basically, that thousand city is going to generate this all level basically. They are going to generate their energy in this all characters education. Then they told that basically it might be possible. That means you want to say that Microsoft basically also done like this only basically, like this SAP, Unix, COBOL, Pascal, Python, Python, PHP, C, C++, Java. This whole group basically has created their sectors basically according to the A to Z and 0 to 1, and lots of symbols basically are there. Then one person told that basically text box equal to thousand city. That you know basically. Then he told that exactly, yeah, thousand city basically, and whatever you basically type in the text box, that is basically what you are going to type. You are might be going to type some name, character, or some symbol. That each and everything basically is doing the process in the text box city basically. Text box equal to thousand city. That entire thousand city is doing this character process basically. You want to know that basically then that city basically, do you know basically when it was created, that time basically it was mapped to some satellite group basically, because each and every satellite basically groups are basically each and every group basically are connected to the each and every languages basically, you can say which language is under which language, that basically is also basically the news basically, you can say that is also one of the news basically, you can say. So you can say this is also the languages fight also, you can say basically. That also you can say it's a languages fight also basically, you can say. Then he told that basically it might be possible basically languages fight also basically might be possible, because few people say that basically this city is entirely created from the English language. That city basically is created or entirely from the Tamil Nadu language. That city is basically created from the Malayalam language. That Gaza city is created from that language. That Israel basically is created from that language. Few people say that basically this basically your city, you can see that is created from the computer language. Then basically he told that what computer language? That is basically text box equal to thousand cities, combo box equal to thousand cities. The processes basically which is happening, this all basically is going to generate some energy, na? Then he told that yeah basically. So you are that basically energy has connect that energy basically has generated the thing basically. One person told that basically we are basically in India basically we are handling everything basically. We are the king of India basically. That basically some businessman told that. One of the big businessmen, he told it like that. And few people say that we always be safe basically. We just donate the money like this. Basically, we create big businessmen also basically. That we basically keep ourselves safe basically. We don't basically interfere in the this whole thing basically, because we know basically where the risk is, where is not the risk, which language basically if you create them basically what is the risk factor. So we basically donate the money basically, and we play safely basically. Like this, we have donated lots of money basically, because they told that basically earthquake is there basically always. Basically earthquake is always active in the always active in the city basically. When basically it go get activate basically, you can't say basically activate means magnitude basically. Earthquake bell is basically 24 hours basically, it is 365 365 days basically, or basically 10 years, 12 years, 30 years basically, it is always activated basically. It is always activated. But the magnitude basically, that basically is the issue basically. That basically activation basically required some energy basically. That basically, that is the global warming basically. Mostly that is global warming only. And what is actually global warming, that basically we have already discussed. That is the education level basically. 20 percentage basically data is coming from the education sector basically. So next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about the how basically the people do the planning of the future.